Okay, everybody, welcome to Policy and Resources Committee meeting, 12th of January. And just to go through the housekeeping right at the start. So this meeting will be live streamed to the Council's Facebook page. Persons attending will be captured on film, except when seated in the public area, with the exclusion of the first row. Please be aware that any speech may be picked up and broadcast. A fire alarm is not planned, and in the event the alarm sounds, please make your way out of the building using either staircase to the meeting point in Red Lion Yard and await further instructions. Councillors are reminded that to avoid the risk of being seen as predetermined or biased, they should consider all debate prior to deciding on how to vote on items of business. Urgent items, which is items for information only, can be brought to the attention of the committee at the discretion of the chairman at the end of the meeting. No decision can be taken on items not detailed on the published agenda. As a general reminder, please ensure your mobile phones are turned off or to silent, and you will note that we now have our microphones back up and working again, so please don't forget to use them when you wish to speak so that people can hear you. Thank you. So item 1, apologies for absence, Madam Clerk.
I'm afraid there's quite a few this evening. Councillor Bird for personal reasons, Councillor Marsh for personal reasons, Councillor Weeks, but I'm unsure why, and Councillor Coleman for ill health. I haven't heard anything from Councillor Hart.
Okay, so for those who've actually sent apologies, are we happy to approve those? Councillor Fisher, Councillor Tolley, and all in favour of the looks of things? Lovely, thank you. Yes, for each.
For those who aren't attending, what procedures have you got to get them to send something, even if it's a quick email?
We'll pick that up under those questions, okay? Thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. So this is to receive disclosures of interest from councillors on matters to be considered at the meeting. The disclosure shall include the nature of the interest. If a member becomes aware during the course of a meeting when interest has not been disclosed, they must do so immediately. Anybody anything to declare at this stage? Okay. Item 3 is public participation. We don't have any members of the public in. Is there anything being submitted in writing, Madam Clerk? Item 4, members' questions. So this is the point of your question, Councillor Leek. Thank you.
I won't repeat it. You know what I was going to say.
Yeah, we did look at this a little while ago when we wrote it into a document or something. I can't remember what it was. One of them, the sections there was for those that were away, but that it wasn't actually publicised that they were physically away. The others, well, they're all supposed to write or ring or something to tell us that they're not going to be here. Councillor Weeks did ring, and I know he spoke to Abby this afternoon, but I didn't quite catch what the reason was, but he did ring, and all the rest have forwarded their apologies. It's only Councillor Hart I haven't heard from. That has happened more than once.
Essentially, if somebody doesn't send in a reason why it's an unauthorised absence, so we don't approve it, and because if somebody's off more than 6 months, then there is legally there is an impact of that. Councillor Leach,
Right, I fully understand that. It's just that we approve those who have, but we don't disapprove those who haven't. Should we actually have some formula?
It's not that you disapprove, it's that you just don't approve it, and then after 6 months, then they can no longer become a councillor if they haven't come. There is nothing to say. I suppose you could vote to say that you're not happy with the fact that they haven't sent apologies, but it doesn't change anything legally.
That does seem a little harsh. I think it's better just to approve those who sent the proper apologies, and those who haven't, then it just registers in the background.
Could it easily be misunderstood, forgotten? Yeah. But sometimes that happens time and time.
I agree. I have marked Councillor Weeks' down here because the reason was unknown, was that he tenders apologies, but that it hasn't been approved because it was unknown. Yeah. The reason why.
Okay, any other members' questions on any other matters? Okay, so number 5 minutes. This is to resolve to approve minutes of the Policy and Resources Committee meeting held on the 8th of December 2025. Everybody happy that they're signed as a true and accurate record? Proposal, Councillor Tolley, Councillor Fisher, in favour? I'll sign them, I think, at the end. Item 6, Oakhampton Town Council to receive and consider feedback from the Youth Council and consider any comments of rising and clerk.
We are due to go to Oakhampton College at the last week in January to give some presentations during their assemblies, and they are taking part in a climate workshop in February. Devon County are organising a democracy week or day in October, I think, so we've been invited to, we haven't got an exact date yet, to County Hall for the day to take part in that. And Devon County are also looking to set up a network of youth facilitators, so for youth councils, youth services, so that we can all get together once a quarter and sort of work to see what we can do and how best to move forward and get like the ideas and
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah.
No? Lovely. Item 7, so these are of policies and documents, so this is to consider and resolve to approve resolve to recommend, the following policies to full council. I'm going to take the family friendly one separately, but hopefully we can do the council employee protocol, delegation scheme, dignity at work policy and the sexual harassment policy en bloc as they are existing. Okay, Councillor Leach, and you seconding Councillor Tolley. People in favour? Lovely, that's everybody, thank you. So the HR Family Friendly Policy Pack, if I'm saying that without teeth in, you will see that, I just need to get to them a minute, that the first, 1, 2, 3, well, you've got the maternity, paternity, parental leave, shared parental leave, adoption leave, carers leave, and parental bereavement leave are statutory. Okay, so these have been prepared by the HR People Peninsula, and we then have, they've also included for us to consider some discretionary policies as to whether we wish to include any or all of them, and if we do, we might want to think of others who have different circumstances, who may wish to have their own dedicated policy. So just thinking about those first 8, although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, does anybody have any questions on those 7? First and foremost, they are statutory, and the language in them would be what is legally required. Councillor Fisher.
I did actually read all these on Sunday.
Microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
I did actually read them all on Sunday. You need a medical degree for some of it. I'm just not convinced we can just say yes to these things or no. I know it's not written by you, and they're written by, you know, professional people, but I just don't see that I've got the skill to say anything about it, really, which I know is a bit pathetic.
But those ones are pretty much in line with the policies we already have. They're just updating those. We already have all those, they're legal requirements, so we have to have them. But that goes on ACAS's, it all comes from ACAS and legal legislation, government legislation.
It'd be, yeah, ACAS template, because if you remember rightly, we were pushing the policies that were an individual contract for employment. They were coming into just a handbook because they apply to everybody, so it means everybody's up to date rather than having to revisit contracts and somebody's policy goes up to date because they've been here a long time. So they are just the statutory requirements which are laid down in the legislation.
These come out, I see there's January 26 on them, and so we have to do this every 3 years, or something like that? Because so 28.
I've put, I don't know, well, I mean, it's a little bit discretionary how often you do it, but, and also if legislation changes in between, then you have to do it more often. Because if something was to change next month, then it was a legal requirement, then you'd have to revisit it beforehand. But I try not to put them all on annually if I can help it, because it's too much.
Yeah.
And statutory policies, of course, they would, as
We don't
Rob
have a
said,
choice.
they wouldn't change unless there were legislative changes. It's only any changes would be if we applied any contractual, which is over and above the statutory.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Councillor
Okay.
Lynch.
I understand there might be changes to maternity leave coming quite soon, as in debate, Jackie. The ones that through completely, I can pronounce them. So this I can, financial wellbeing policy. I just find that a difficult one, how you can determine that an employee has any issues with their finances,
Yeah, I know.
because you start to be delving into their private life. I don't. Neurodiversity policy, I haven't heard of that one before.
A lot of these are fairly new.
And you've got, for me, it just, where on earth do you stop?
I know.
Enterometriosis support policy.
Well, that was easy, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, not to say, that's for sure. And they're serious to the people who are affected. But I don't know when we have to go to those lengths.
You don't have to. It is just what they've suggested. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, that you may or may not wish to include. I mean, it's
So
discretionary.
if we can just go back to the statutory ones a minute, if we're sort of basically, then we're okay with that, then we're looking at the discretionary ones, and I think the question that I would ask you to consider is whether because it is referring to very specific issues in terms of people's health or their particular, where they find themselves, but particularly the health one, would that not be covered without naming the condition? Would it not be covered under sort of discrimination and our general other policies? Would that not sit in it, that where if a person was going through one of these particular situations, that they would have the option to talk about reasonable adjustments anyway? These sorts of things are already existing within their existing contracts.
I mean, if somebody came to me with an issue along those lines or whatever it was, then we would look at it on a case-by-case basis anyway.
Yeah.
And if the need arose, then we would maybe look at a policy if we needed one for that condition, perhaps. But whether you actually need them beforehand, is very debatable, really.
I did have the last one for me, andropause policy, about menopause. I must have missed something in my life. I'm quite happy to have missed such a thing. Female menopause, a very, very serious issue. And I guess for some males it may be, but I've never come across it personally.
No, I guess the thing is, if you agree one, then you should, to be fair, agree both, possibly. I don't know.
So what do we want to do? Do we want to include the discretionary, or do we wish to not recommend discretionary to full council and just go with the statutory? Councillor Bishop.
I would think we should include the discretionary. It doesn't hurt. Sorry. I think we should include the discretionary. It doesn't hurt to be there, and it does give us a bit of guidance if that's where we want to go. Why not have it?
So you're making that as a proposal?
Yes, I am.
Okay, is there a second to that? I'm sorry, I was lost. So I think we need an alternative proposal then from one of the gentlemen here. That's Toy.
I propose that it is discretionary. We're not obliged to take them on board. I'm sure our other policies cover whatever that goes, and if it doesn't, we can then introduce those later on.
So can I just be clear, what are you proposing? That we approve the statutory and
Approve the
or
statutory.
recommend the statutory, not
Yeah.
approving actually?
Yeah.
We recommend the statutory but not the discretionary.
Yes.
Is that what you're proposing? Right, okay, so a second by Councillor Leach. Thank you. Any further in debate on that? Right, all in favour, please show. Thank you. Any against? One against. Lovely, thank you very much. You might want to keep the papers for, are they on this full council agenda?
No, because Abby's doing full council in my place because I can't be here, so I kept it to a minimum.
sign.
especially as there's a meeting before that.
Okay, so if we come to item 8, which is the finance and audits, we have 8.1, which would have been for Councillor Marsh to report upon recently undertaken council audit of bank reconciliations, online payments and Lloyd's debit card transactions made since the last report. Has she sent anything?
I haven't got anything, so that will have to be
Okay,
deferred.
so that parent for next time. 8.2, the management accounts. To consider, agree and adopt the management accounts as circulated for the month ended 30th of November, month 8, 2025. These were circulated electronically and have just passed out a paper copy for anybody who wishes to make any comments on them.
No.
Anybody anything to say on these?
No.
No? Okay, so are we happy to approve these or to adopt them? Councillor Leach?
Yeah.
Councillor Fisher, all in favour? Lovely, thank you. And then we're moving on to 8.3, which is the investment. So you have a report to review. This isn't the one we have to do at every meeting. To review the financial investments, including interest rates and the Tamar Energy community shares, and I think also taking into account the note on the back regarding the bank account change that is in the process of going through it.
I am pleased to be able to advise that Nationwide have now agreed to accept the documents we sent
Oh, good.
eventually, and that we can close the account, but not until April.
Well, thank goodness they accepted the paperwork. That took quite a bit.
Yes, it is.
Right, so, and the rest you have then got is on your front cover. So this is for noting, really, unless anybody has any comments they wish to make? No? No. Thank you. And 8.4, the payment schedule, to resolve to approve the payment schedule again. That has been circulated. I can see, as you can see, Councillor Ireland has double checked them all. He's signed it. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or queries. Just to remind members, this is all money that's been actually approved in the budget. So it's nothing unbudgeted.
Well, can I just ask, is the pinging, the dues, is that the annual fee?
Yes.
That's,
It's for this year, this current financial year, and yes, it's annual. It was the amount we were quoted.
well,
That's Todd.
I'm happy to propose that we accept these accounts and approve them.
I'll second it.
Councillor Fisher, thank you. All in favour? Lovely, thank you very much. Okay, we're cracking through this quite a nice speed. So item 9, CCTV. So this is just at this stage, just for noting, this grant application for the supply and installation of CCTV at an additional location has been successful, up to the value of £10,000. So we need to consider acceptance, subject to review of annual ongoing costs in accordance with quotations within part 2. This is just noting at this stage. Item 10, members' reports and requests for agenda items. So this is to receive reports from members attending other organisations on behalf of the council. I can do 10.1 and 10.4 together. So 10.1, which is DALC, Large Council Subcommittee, there's been no meeting. Equally at 10.4, West Devon Matters, there's been no meetings since the last report. 10.2 is Fair Trade. Has Councillor Hart sent anything in? No? Okay. 10.3.
Oh, actually, no, Fair Trade is still Councillor Hart. Yes, I was thinking of the other one that changed.
Yeah. 10.3, which is Police Council Advocate Scheme. I don't suppose you've had chance yet, but
I've.
would you like to put your microphone on then, provide a report? Thank you.
I'll buck up. Sorry about that. I've read a lot into it, and I've been speaking to quite a few people, and I've recently been speaking to the inspector, who invited me out this Wednesday morning, but I can't go because I'm at another meeting. But I understand what I'm there for as a council to find out what's going on, and I'm quite enjoying the work actually. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we're moving into part 2. So the committee is recommended to pass the following resolution. Resolved that under part 1, bracket 2, bracket of the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, the public and press be excluded from the meeting for the following items which are confidential by virtue of relating to legal and or commercial matters, staffing and all the financial or business affairs of the personal persons other than the council. So we will need to close down the live feed. Thank you very much.